and welcome to my channel. I am Tabile Hlajwayo, better known as Tabile the Cook.
So I have my vegetables here, right? I have got my finely cubed carrots. I have got my chopped green chili, and I have got one small onion, and I've also roughly chopped that, right? And then here I have got my tomato. I have chopped 4 regular sized tomatoes, and this is what I have here. And I prefer to chop my tomatoes rather than grate them, because when you cook your tomatoes, right, the color, guys, I love colorful food. You know, one eats with their eyes, so I always try whenever I cook, you know, to play around with colors. Hence why you always find with a lot of my dishes I will have carrots, right? I have carrots because I like carrots first and foremost, but because carrot also brings color to my dish. So hence why I'm forever having carrots in my dishes, just because I want to play with colors. I don't want my dishes to be like one tone, right? So yeah, that's the reason why I also chop my tomatoes, because when tomato cooks, it basically just, you know, disintegrates into whatever the meal you're making, and you can't see that there's tomato, but chances are you can, you know, you can taste it, but you can't see it, right? So the reason why I then chop my tomatoes is because even though the flesh of the tomato will disappear, right, when cooking, the skin does not disintegrate, right? So in my food, then the skin will be left behind, and you will then have those little pops of red in your dish. So hence why I will forever chop my tomatoes and not grate them, purely because I want the skin, and the skin will then provide me with that lovely red tomato color in my dish, right? So then, since I'm making a bolognese, right, and I'm using tomato, so when using tomato, one thing that I have learned is you must contrast the flavor of the tomato, right? I don't know if contrast the flavor makes sense, but yeah. So basically what you do is you go in with a tablespoon of sugar, right? So put in a tablespoon of sugar in your tomatoes. So this is going to help sweeten your tomatoes, right? And then you also go in with a tablespoon of vinegar, right? And then the vinegar is basically going to balance the sugar out, and the acidity. It's also going to add to the acidity of your tomatoes. And remember what I said, acid brings out the flavor, you know, it highlights the flavor of food. So you don't need a lot of vinegar, right? So just that, and I'm using normal white spirit vinegar. You can use any vinegar. The important thing that you basically need is just that acidic, the acidicness of the vinegar. And I'm just going to mix all of that together. Okay, so now we're going to start off with the frying of, my pot is already hot, as you can see. Oh goodness, it's steaming up here, right? So I just put in some oil. I didn't even take a wooden spoon, right? So now I'm just going to throw all this in, my green chili, right, and my carrots. So just allow this to cook out. Your onions need to become translucent. You'll know the drift, right? So allow these to cook out, right? Your onions, for them to be translucent. And halfway through the process, then you can add in your tablespoon of garlic. So I use garlic and herb, right? So guys, remember, don't ever add in your onion and your garlic at the same time. Always add in your onion first, right? Allow that to, you know, cook until it's halfway through to be translucent, and then add your garlic. Reason being, garlic, you know, burns very quickly, you know, so you don't want to have a burnt garlic. So that's why it's always advisable that, you know what, add your onion first, move that around, and as soon as like halfway through to being at the desired, you know, look and feel, then you add your garlic, so that your garlic can also, you know, cook and incorporate with the rest of the ingredients. So as you can see, you know, your onions are now translucent, your garlic is well incorporated into this as well. Then what I'm going to add is I'm going to add a tablespoon of curry powder. Right, like a heaped tablespoon of curry powder. That's a mess, but anyway. And then same with curry powder, you must always allow your curry to cook, so just move that around, allow it to release its aromas. It's very important. So you don't just add curry powder and then add the rest of your ingredients. No, you need to allow your curry powder to cook. And if you do start seeing that it's starting to burn on the bottom, just you know, scrape it. And then what I'm going to do, guys, I just need, you can see how dry it is, right? So I'm just going to go in with just a little bit of extra olive oil, right? Yeah, there we go. So it was, yeah, just need a little bit of oil. So this is the nice thing about cooking, and hence the reason why I like to cook and not bake. You know, with cooking, you can make these adjustments as you're cooking. With baking, that thing goes into the oven and it's goodbye. It's like gone girl type of situation. There's nothing you can do to fix it. So with cooking, you can always make the adjustments while you are busy with making your food. Right, so yeah, that's coming along nicely. At least you can see it's no longer as dry as it was. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my minced meat, right? Let me use this, right? So I've got my minced meat here, my minced meat. That's fine, let me use the whole thing. It's okay, right? So this is beef. You can use pork if you want pork. You can use pork and beef, whatever, you know, tickles your fancy. Then I'm just going to, you know, incorporate the mince into my onion and carrot and garlic. You know, allow that to fry out. You know, and I'm also trying to separate it because I don't want big chunks, right, of the mincemeat, right? So the first thing is just me trying to incorporate the mincemeat into my onions and everything before I start adding in my spices. And you can see that the mincemeat also releases oil, right, for itself. Okay, so I'm happy with that. All the parts of the minced meat are covered, and as well I have separated it, you know, so I don't have the big chunks of minced meat, right? Then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my spices, right? And because you are making pasta, I always suggest that add a bit more spices than what you would usually add, because remember, the pasta is not flavorless, but yeah, you need to, you know, make sure that your sauce is strong enough to actually withstand in the pasta. And because you don't want to be adding pasta and then you can't taste your sauce anymore. So I'm going to go in with a bit more than what you would usually do, right? So I'm going in with a tablespoon of paprika with my spices. I'm going to use a tablespoon, right? I've got this spice, it's called Seven Gun. Not Seven Gun, Seven Colors. Yeah, it's a South African mixed spice. I'm going to use 2 of these, right? Of the 7 Gun. And the reason why I use, not 7 Gun, 7 colors, guys, not 6 Gun, 7 colors. It's this new spice brand here in South Africa. So I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of that. I'm finishing off my dried herbs. They're finished already, as you can see. And then I'm just going to go in with about a tablespoon of, this is chicken spice, right? Yes, I use chicken spice and beef. I'm that girl. So I'm going to go in with a tablespoon of that. And then this is one of those ingredients that you wouldn't think to add. Mixed spice, right? It has your cinnamon, your coriander. You know, it just brings out the flavor as well. So add in about just a 1/4 teaspoon of that, right? And then, yeah, mix everything together. So the reason why I added the 2 tablespoons, in case you're South African and you know about the 7 colors spice, yo guys, I need to stop promoting things on my channel that are not paying me, these brands. But anyway, so the reason why I added 2 tablespoons of it, right, is because it is really not salty at all. It is just purely a spice blend, unlike your 6 Gun. 6 Gun is very salty. So whenever you work with that, you must ensure that, you know what, your salt balances out. You don't add a lot of salt because 6 Gun comes with a lot of salt on its own, right? So then you can see that now my spices are all nicely incorporated in that, right? And to that, I am going to add in my tomatoes, right? I'm going to add in my tomatoes, incorporate that nicely in, and see, it's coming together. It's coming together. And then let me tell you what the trick is about bolognese. Bolognese is low and slow, just like your oxtail, you know. We are doing this thing low and slow. And that is basically how you bring out like the best flavor in food, is when you cook it for a very long time and you cook it on low heat, right? Then I've got this herbal salt. So yeah, I'm not using any beef stock or cube or whatever not. I like, as I always say, either use herbal salt, is basically the salt part of it is sea salt, right? So yeah, so I'm going to just go in with just a bit of salt in that, right? Or use your Himalayan salt. That would also work well. If you want to go in with your cube, please go in with your cube. Hey guys, I'm not a fan of these stock things, like, because, and the reason why I'm not a fan is purely because so much goes into those things that you don't know, you know. So I like ingredients in their purest of forms, because then I know what I'm actually eating. But these ones, you know what? Like, look at how beautiful my dish is. Like, it's literally glistening. Like, you know what? It's glowing. And we're not even done yet. Oh my word, that's a mess. Okay, but it's okay. So then I've got some fresh chives, right? So I needed to make a dish this other day, and it required me to buy chives. So I still have those chives, you know. And basically what I do with my herbs to preserve them, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like, you see, because they've been in the deep freezer, right? So what I do is then, after I've bought them and I'm not going to be using them, right, I just wipe them with a paper towel, and then I put them in the deep freezer, and then I will use them. I'll take them out and use them as and when I need them, right? And this is basically how I preserve my herbs. Because you know, you buy herbs for, I don't cook every day. I don't cook all the time. So I'd buy herbs for a particular meal or dish, and then I'm not having anything that's going to require herbs the next time I cook. So I don't want my herbs to go bad while in the fridge and I'm constantly having to throw out herbs and stuff like that. Guys, I'm not a person for waste, hey? So what I do is I just clean them and then I throw them in the deep freezer, and then whenever I make a dish that will require me to use a herb, you know, then I know I've got that particular herb in the deep freezer, and I can just, you know, take that out and use it in my dish. And as I said, like, I bought this probably about a month ago, these chives, but I am still using them today, you know, because I had put them in the deep freezer, right? So can you guys, I told y'all I'm a girl for color. Can you see the colors? Can you see the colors in this bolognese, right? And then obviously a bolognese is a tomato based sauce. I think it's Italian. Yeah. So then what I'm going to do to bring out that tomatoey flavor is I'm going to use tomato paste, right? Any tomato paste you can find. And I'm going to use half the packet. So this is a 50 gram. So I'm just going to use half the packet of this tomato paste. And this is basically going to enrich my bolognese with that tomato flavor, right? And just mix that in. And then what I'm going to do now, right, is I'm going to, after I finish mixing this in, is I am going to close my pot, right, and allow this to just simmer before I taste. Reason being, right now the ingredients haven't really, you know, come together as well as they should, right? So I need to allow everything to simmer together so that the ingredients are able to all come together well, and then I can taste to see who's okay. This is what I think I'm missing. This is what maybe there's a certain ingredient that's just a bit more, so I'll need to balance that out, right? But right now, it hasn't incorporated as well. So then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to go in with a cup of water, right? And you're going to see, as I said, bolognese is cooked low and slow. So it is runny now, you know. But after this thing, it takes about a good hour and a half to 2 hours to cook. If you want to cook like proper, you know, rich bolognese. Yes, you can do it in 30, 45 minutes. Fast in J. But I'm cooking like a nice proper bolognese, you know, so it's going to take time. As I told you, it's there in the ranks of oxtail, these dishes that take not the whole day, but the whole day to cook. So what then I'm going to do is I'm just going to close my pot and then and I'm going to put down my heat, and then allow this just to come together and simmer together for about 10 minutes before I come back and taste it. So I'm going to start off with my pasta. Remember, I always say that always use boiling water when cooking. Have some boiled water in your kettle and always just start from boiling water, right? So I'm going to use this pasta. However, first and foremost, remember you need to salt your water, right? Pasta water needs to be over salted. Over salt pasta water, please. So this is going to be about a tablespoon of salt, because pasta water must be over salted. That is the only way that you are going to actually, you know, bring out that flavor of the pasta, right? And the reason why my water is discoloring is because I am using the very same herbal salt. So it's not just clear salt, so that's why the water is discoloring. Right, so then I am going to put in my pasta. Let's see. I'm going to use half. Yeah. So, and then I'm going to allow that to come to a boil. And follow the packet instructions on how to cook that particular pasta. So this has been cooking now for about an hour. Yeah, about an hour, 10, 20 minutes. And it has all come together nicely. You can also see the richness of it. You know, the mince is oily, so it releases its own oil. But you can even see the color, like it's like super red and stuff. So yeah, this is my bolognese, right? Oh guys, the smell, oh my goodness, I wish you guys could smell it. Right, so this is my bolognese, it's complete. And then I have my pasta, right? I cooked the pasta, right? You can see my little funny faces. Right, cooked according to packet instructions. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer the sauce into the pasta. And then, so yeah, this is my bolognese. Right, I'm just gonna add just a little bit more again. Right, and this is the bolognese, guys. You see the color, it's like rich, this red color. You see what I was saying about the tomato ish? Now it disappeared. But look on my spoon, you see the little flaps of tomato, you can see the carrot, you can see the chives, you know, in the pot you can also see it, right? So it's nice colors, it's not just one tone. If it was just the mince, you know, it's just going to be brown. Yeah, so I've got these different colors, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to dish in my nice bowl. Right, so I'm going to put that in there. Look at how pretty that looks. And I'm so hungry, really, so. So yeah, and then just for a little bit of garnish, the same chives, those same ones, those ones, yes. Try to put that in the shot now, and I'm just going to garnish with some chives, right? Just make it look even prettier than it is. And yeah, this is your dish. Look at that. Look. So I'm going to now enjoy my pasta. Look at that. Can you see the different colors? Lovely. Enjoy. It's amazing.